Verify This. Building trust in a world of data breaches and digital threats, one episode at a time. Welcome to the deep dive. We've spent quite a bit of time talking about voice biometrics. You know, how powerful your voice alone can be for security, like a fingerprint.
Exactly.
But today, we're looking at something bigger. A real evolution in how we think about authentication online. Our mission today is to explore this shift beyond just voice. What happens when security gets, well, layered?
Precisely. Because let's face it, the threats are getting incredibly sophisticated. We're talking deep fakes that can mimic voices, complex spoofing, even creating fake identities from scratch.
Synthetic identity fraud.
Yeah. And in that landscape, just relying on one thing, like only your voice or only a password, it just doesn't cut it anymore. It's becoming clear we need a much more dynamic, sort of multi-layered defense.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We're diving into a new model, 5-factor authentication.
That's the one.
And the idea is it creates this security net that's almost impossible to penetrate, even if someone gets your password or your phone.
Or even a sophisticated clone of your voice.
Right. Even then, it's incredibly difficult to impersonate you because it integrates these 5 critical factors together.
And what's really fascinating, I think, is how these different layers work together. They provide these unique, sometimes almost unconscious signals about who you are digitally.
Like building a constantly evolving picture of you online.
Exactly. A living profile.
Okay, so what are these 5 factors? Let's break them down. First up, behavioral patterns. That sounds like how you act, not just what you do.
Precisely. It's the subtle stuff. These tiny micro behaviors are surprisingly consistent for an individual, but incredibly hard for someone else to mimic intentionally.
Okay.
And machine learning is great at spotting these subtle patterns.
Got it. Okay, number 2, environmental context. This sounds like the where and when.
You got it. This factor looks at things like, well, your usual location based on IP address, the Wi-Fi network you normally connect from.
Your home Wi-Fi versus, say, a coffee shop.
Exactly. Or the typical times you log in, maybe the browser or operating system you tend to use. If suddenly there's a login attempt from halfway across the world at 3 a.m.
On a device type you never use.
That's a big red flag. It's all about establishing a baseline of your normal digital environment.
Makes sense. Okay, third factor, device identity. Now, I'm guessing this is more than just, is it a phone or a laptop?
Oh, much more. This gets really specific. It looks at unique hardware identifiers for your specific machine, things like the device's MSE address, maybe specific details about the operating system configuration.
Like a device fingerprint.
Exactly, a device fingerprint. Even the combination of software installed can contribute. So even if someone steals your password, replicating your exact device signature is another pretty significant hurdle for them.
Okay, that's clear. Fourth on the list, usage patterns. How's this different from the behavioral ones we started with?
Good question. Behavioral is how you interact, the speed, the rhythm. Usage is about what you typically do, your habits within the system over time.
Oh, okay.
Do you normally check your bank balance first thing? Do you usually only transfer money to, say, 2 or 3 specific payees? Which features in an app do you actually use regularly?
So it builds up a history of my normal actions.
Exactly. It's about that historical consistency. Unusual activities, something out of character for your established patterns, immediately stands out.
Right. Consistency over time. Okay, and finally, number 5, we come back to the original anchor. Vocal characteristics, how you sound.
Yep, voice is still absolutely crucial. But now, instead of being the only factor, it's one piece of a much larger puzzle.
Part of the orchestra, not the soloist.
Well put. A deepfake might create a pretty convincing copy of your voice, sure, but that's just one data point now. The real power here is the cross-correlation.
How all 5 factors are checked together.
Precisely. A fraudster might mimic your voice, okay? But can they also perfectly replicate and be logging in from your usual location on your specific device and perform actions consistent with your history?
The chances seem incredibly slim.
Almost impossible simultaneously. It's the mismatch, the incongruity across all these dynamic factors that flags the attempt as suspicious and creates this really formidable defense.
So, wrapping this up, what does this really mean for you listening? It sounds like authentication is getting way smarter, moving beyond just a simple password or even just your voice print.
It really is. It means security is becoming much more adaptive, creating a defense that's just fundamentally tougher to break through.
This deep dive definitely shows why security has to be so dynamic, constantly evolving to stay ahead.
If you think about the bigger picture here, this shift really changes how we think about digital identity itself. It brings up a pretty profound question, I think. In our increasingly digital lives, just how much of our unique humanness, those subtle cues, the unconscious patterns, can technology actually capture and protect?
Hmm.
Think about how these different pieces of data, seemingly separate things like your typing speed and your location, when you weave them together, they create this incredibly strong, almost invisible shield around your digital self.
That is definitely something to think about as you navigate your own digital world. So hopefully this deep dive has given everyone listening a little bit more insight into this whole world of digital trust, and maybe even inspired you to take some steps to boost your own online security. Because ultimately, it's about asking yourself, how much do you trust the digital world? And what are you doing to protect yourself within it?
That's a great question to leave everyone with.
Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, everybody. We'll see you next time.